What is up, guys? Zach here from the Chaos Galaxy, and today I will be doing part 2 of my showcase of my old TCG Elementals Season 3. Today I'll be showing you all the cards from the Fire Element, the Air Element, the Heaven Element, and the Robot Element. So if you haven't checked out part 1 and you have no idea what I'm talking about, there'll be a link to that in the description below. Also, today, August the 11th, is my birthday. So happy birthday to me. I also want to give a quick shout out to a friend of mine, Darcy Churchill, who's made a subreddit for the Chaos Galaxy. I'll leave a link to that in the description below. I'll probably be hosting a Q&A on there at some point in the future. I just need to get my brother to teach me how to use Reddit first. But yeah, enough of that, and I'll get on to the video. So in the last video I showed you the rock and water element types, and there were a couple of rock ones that I found after I made the video which I didn't show you, so I'll quickly go through them now. So we have Desert Demon with a whopping 3,200 power and 2,300 block, so he's really strong, and he could definitely be from the planet Barrow in Chaos Galaxy. We then got Pebble, who's just a 1-star creature with 300 power and 700 block. We then have this one. This one was really interesting, the Rainbow Rock. Although it was originally a rock type, this card is also every other element type, and it gets an extra 100 power and block for every other rock card on the field. So he works better with rock cards, but you can use him in any element deck, so that was pretty cool. Then got Cataplonk, who's a 5-star with 1,700 power, 1,300 block. We've then got Stones, who was from Elemental Season 1. He gets 200 power every turn he stays alive. We've then got Kronk 1, who's based on Kronk from the Chaos Galaxy. I don't think I actually made a Kronk 2 and 3 in this version, but yeah, here he is anyway. He's only got 2 stars. I also found some special cards for the Boulder Dragon archetype. We have Boulder Dragon Doom, where you get 2 points for every Boulder Dragon on your field. Sorry, I'm talking like I'm doing a Chaos Galaxy video. We've then got Avalanche, where all rock cards can perform straight attacks the rest of the turn, so that's when you attack your opponent directly, kind of, and you get 2 points for it, so that can win you games there. We've then, whoops, oh no, God, cards flying everywhere. Okay, we've got Quarry. Your opponent kills one random card in your hand, and then if it's a rock card, you kill every card on their field, and if it isn't, you get 3 points. So you win either way, pretty much. Although you do have to kill a card in your hand, so there's the downside. We've then got Bombardment, and when you play it, your opponent can't play any special cards until there are no rock cards on the field, so that's really good. Obviously if you're using a rock deck, you're going to have rock cards on the field most of the time, so that's pretty impressive. Okay, now I'm going to get on to showing you all the new fire cards. There's quite a few of these, and we have the archetype for them as well, which I'll get onto later. But first off, we have Flame Pig. He's a seemingly normal pig, however when angered it breathes and sets fire, as you can see in the picture. He's got 4 stars, 1,400 power and 1,200 block. We've then got Skoichi, who's a 2-star, 500 power, 200 block, and when he dies, all your fire cards on the field get 500 power and 200 block, so he can be pretty good. Next up, Firearm. I really like his artwork actually, I think he's cool. You can kill him to give one of the fire creature an extra 2,000 block, so that's really impressive. We then have the Drip. I remember my cousin Sam used the fire deck, and the Drip used to win him games all the time. And it's an 8-star, but it's only got 100 power and 100 block. However, its ability reads, it cannot be killed for the first 3 turns it's played, and then for every turn he stays alive he gets 1,000 power and 500 block. And I think my cousin used to use Firearm with it, so you could bump up its block by 2,000, then wait 3 turns and you wouldn't be able to kill it, and it would just keep getting stronger and stronger and stronger. And because players didn't really use many special cards in this game, there wasn't many ways to kill it, so yeah, the Drip used to win games for my cousin Sam all the time. Next up we have Lava Trump. I thought it said Trump then. Hashtag vote Trump. No, I don't actually want to get into that kind of debate now. He's got 1,500 power and 1,000 block. We've got Super Spicy Curryman, who's a familiar face from the Chaos Galaxy, and he was a fan favourite of my cousin Sam as well. He was one of his favourite cards, even though he's pretty weak. We then have the first shiny card of the fire cards, and this is Lava Dragon. I like his artwork, and he's a deadly dragon with fire breath and razor sharp claws. It swoops out of nowhere and grabs its enemies. 2,700 power, he's really good, and 1,800 block. Then got Lazy Some weird pun with lasers. 1,400 power, 600 block. Then we've got Flame Warrior, who's 6 stars, pretty powerful, 2,300 power. We then have Bamoom. He's pretty cool looking. And this card can only be killed by water creatures or special cards. Any other creature that attacks it dies. So he is very good. Although his stats are quite low, he's only 900, but he's got 5 stars. And he's very hard to kill. We then have the archetype now. And this is the Spark archetype. I have the original Spark Eye in the Chaos Galaxy. Sorry, I got them in the wrong order there. Whose name is Sparky in this game. And he's a tiny mischievous creature that electrocutes enemies and taunts them. He's a 1-star with 700 power and 300 block. And although this seems pretty weak at first, he has some stronger forms that will definitely do some damage. The first of which is Spark Eye here. I really like his artwork. And he's a 3-star with slightly better stats. And you can play it if you have... You can only play it if you have Sparky on the field. And when you play it, it gets an extra 500 power and block. I don't know why I didn't just give him an extra 500 power and block on his actual stats anyway. That's completely pointless. We next up have Sparkster. Oh yeah, that was another thing. There was another stage in between these two called Sparko. However, I can't find Sparko anywhere, but he's mentioned in this card. You can only play this card by killing one Sparky, Spark Eye and Sparko on your field. And then when you play this card, it gets an extra 1,000 power and block. So he'll go up to 2,800, 2,800. Which is really powerful. And then the last card in the archetype, which I'll just get here because it's on this piece of paper which I didn't cut out, is Spark Lord, who is pretty massive and he has a pretty badass crown on his head. He's a shiny card too. You can't really see it there. But he's an 8-star with 2,900 power and 2,700 block, so he's massive. And to play him, you must have at least one Spark card on the field. So he's quite a bit easier to play than Sparkster and Spark Eye. Next up, we've got Vulcan. And when this card dies, kill all non-fire cards on the field, which is pretty good. And he's got a whopping 3,000 power. So I guess that's his ability is kind of like a volcano erupting and killing everything. Next up, we've got Snorch. I like Snorch. I don't think any of my cousins really liked him that much, but I think he's pretty cool. You know, he definitely stands out like artwork-wise amongst all the other fire cards. He's a 3-star with 1,700 block and 300 power. And he's a creature that sneezes fire. The only thing to stop it is putting pepper under its nose. That's quite specific. Actually, I guess it's... I guess because putting pepper under your nose normally makes you sneeze, so I don't know if I was trying to do something cool there, I can't tell. Next up we have Manflacky, a classic Chaos Galaxy card. Card number 1 in the entire game, in fact. He's not number 1 in this game. I think number 1 is Flame Pig, actually. Yes, there he is. Flame Pig, card number 1. Whoops. However, yeah, throughout this game I sort of forgot to write the numbers on eventually. Yeah, as you can see, Spark Eye's number 10. But then on all the ones on this sheet of paper I just forgot to do it. So yeah, Manflacky. Next up we have Flame Grill Whopper. I may get sued by Burger King if I actually put him in any of my TCGs now, so I'm not going to do that. But as you can see, he's made of like spatulas and grills and deep frying things. Yeah, a new type of burger had been created, but some of the chemicals from the burger dripped onto the frying implements and brought them to life. Don't know what they were putting in those burgers, but anyway, this guy's pretty powerful with 1,900. His block's not that good, but still pretty cool. Then got Malagon, I quite like him. And he's a 5-star with 1,600 power and 1,900 health. And then the final fire card I've got to show you is the God, because obviously every different element has their God card. And this God card is taken straight out of Evolvers Season 1. And 2 actually. He's Firelord. I don't think he looks that cool in this game, but anyway, nonetheless, he's pretty massive, 3,500 power and 3,000 block, and a 10-star. So like all the other God cards, you can only play him by killing one fire creature on his planet, and when he dies, you can play one fire creature card from your deck. I don't know, the ability doesn't actually make sense, but I'm guessing that was what I meant. Anyway. We've got some special cards now. First up, we have Volcanic Doom. and you kill every card on the field that isn't a fire card, which is pretty useful if you're using fire cards. Next up, we've got 2 twigs, which are just used for lighting fire, and you play a fire card from your dead pile, so that kind of makes sense. Then we have burned points, and you get 1 point for every time you play a fire card for this turn. I remember my cousin Sam just used to like save all his cards and then play this and like throw all his fire cards on the table and just win. Pretty funny. Next up we have coal, and all fire cards on your field get an extra 400 power but lose 100 block. We've then got sparks for the spark archetype, and all spark cards get an extra 300 power and block. Also, you can play a sparky from your deck, dead pile or hand, so that's pretty good. Oh sorry, we've then got 2 more on this A4 piece of paper. First up we have Amulet of Flames, and one of your fire cards gets an extra 500 power and block, and it gets 2 points for winning a battle and 4 points for doing a straight attack. So wow, that just doubles all the points you get, which is pretty good. We've then got Dead Hot, we have a Snorch Dying. You get 1 point for every fire card in your dead pile. That's ridiculous, that could just like win you the game straight up. I'd never make a card like that in the Chaos Galaxy, that's crazy. Anyway, wow, that took me a long time to show you guys that. Anyway, I'll just get on to the Sky cards now quickly. First up, I've already shown you this guy. Eagle Man. 4-star, 1200, 1000. And then when he kills a card, you can kill 1 special card on the field. Okay, so that's fair enough. Then got Jet Fist, also seen in Chaos Galaxy. 900 power and 100 block. Then got Wing Rider, who's the first shiny. I really liked this guy. He's got 2000 power and a very impressive 2500 block. Then got Tornado Dunk, who's a living tornado that causes gale force winds, and he's got 1800 power, which is good considering he's only a 3-star. There we go. Evil Chicken Man, also known as Demented Chicken Guy from Chaos Galaxy. Got 800 power, 1200 block, and he was once an evil farmer. He was hypnotized by his chickens, who are actually evil chicken aliens. And now he thinks he is a chicken. So there you go. What a story. I'll be telling that one to the grandkids, definitely. Hey, this one's interesting. Microbes. This is actually a nature card. However, I made it specially to work with Sky cards. And it says here, this card is also a Sky card. You can play this card to your opponent's field, and at the start of every turn, whoever has this card loses 1 point. So that actually has nothing to do with Sky cards, but anyway, it can take some points off your opponent, which is always handy. Then we have Death Parrot, which looks nothing like a parrot. I don't know what I was on then. But anyway, 7 stars, which is really good. 2800 power, but only 1000 block. Next up, we've got another archetype. This is the Cloudy Bob archetype. Here he is, standard Cloudy Bob. He's a little cloud that drifts around the sky, but he's normally teased by his older siblings. Ooh, and he's a 2-star with 400 power and 600 block. That's pretty weak for a 2-star. Should have made him a 1-star, I think. Anyway, his older siblings, we have Rain Cloudy Bob. I really liked his artwork. I think he's my favourite out of all the Cloudy Bobs. And this cloud floats around and rains on random people, making them miserable for the rest of the day. So he's not a very nice guy, although his artwork is cool. 1400 block though, that's very respectable. We've then got Storm Cloudy Bob, the 3rd oldest sibling, and all Cloudy Bobs get an extra 400 block except this card, so that makes these guys pretty good. And then are you ready for the shiny card, who's the big brother of all the Cloudy Bobs? Here's Typhoon Cloudy Bob, and he is freaking massive. I really like this guy. And there you get that shiny card shine on him. And he's got 2000 power and 3200 block. That's definitely one of the best in the game. And all Cloudy Bobs, including this card, get an extra 1000 power, so he goes straight to 3000. And you can only play this card if you have a Cloudy Bob on the field. So yeah, these are all the brothers pretty much, and then to play the Big Daddy you need to have the basic Cloudy Bob on the field, so they kind of work in a full circle. So those are all the Cloudy Bobs. Or are they? We have another Cloudy Bob, Sulphur Cloudy Bob, who's a fire card. And again, this card is also a Sky card. He actually has nothing to do with Cloudy Bobs at all, he just has it in the name. So he gains scores from these guys' abilities, but apart from that he doesn't do anything. And when you play this card, you lose 1 point for every special card on the field, but then you halve the power and block of all your opponent's cards whilst he's there. So He is pretty good. He has nothing to do with Cloudy Bobs, but he is pretty good nonetheless. We then have a special card for the Cloudy Bobs, which is of course called Cloudy Bonus, which lets you play a Cloudy Bob from your deck, just the basic Cloudy Bob, and then you double the power and block of all Cloudy Bob card special power. Ah, right, okay, that didn't make sense then. But yeah, what it does is, so it doesn't actually double their power and block, it doubles the power and block that is given to them by the abilities of these guys. So Storm Cloudy Bob says you get 400 power, this would change it to 800, and then Typhoon would give Cloudy Bobs an extra 2000 power, which is massive. So yeah, Cloudy Bonus can do some damage, but that is the entire Cloudy Bob archetype. Next up we have Experiment 31. I don't know where I got that name from. 2,900 power and 2,700 block, and he's not even a shiny, so that's really good. And it says, once a mad scientist tried to fuse an elephant, dragon, crocodile, and a kangaroo. I don't know why he'd do that, and the result was this horrific fire-breathing abomination. I don't know where he got the metal spike ball on the end of his tail, but I quite like the look of him, actually. Experiment 31. Next up we have Storm Dragon, commonly known as Vazuzu in the Chaos Galaxy, who's a 6-star with 2,000, 2,000. And they're all the creatures, apart from one, obviously. The god for the sky element is just called the Storm, and he's kind of a unique god card in the sense that he has 0 power and 0 block. And again, to play this card you must kill a sky card on the field. When you play this, kill every other card on the field, and this card gets 300 power and block for each. So, I mean, it's quite hard to get his stats up really high, but I mean, killing everything is kind of worth something. So he's still definitely a really good god card to have. So yeah, that's the Storm. And you know, his artwork's a bit different too, so I like that card, it's unique. Next up we have some special cards. We've got Storm Dragon's Wing, which goes specifically with Storm Dragon. It says, if you have Storm Dragon on the field, kill all your opponent's non-sky cards, and then they put all the cards in their hand into their deck and shuffle it. They then draw 4 new cards. So, you can really screw up your opponent if they have some big plan going. Then we have Fog, and your opponent is not allowed to look at the block of any of your cards. So I don't know how that would work. I guess you just have to like put a counter or your finger over the cards, and then your opponent would attack not knowing what the card's score was, and then die if their power wasn't strong enough. Anyway, we have the Tornado Swap, which is the final card. And you pick one of your cards and one of your opponent's cards, and you swap them. When one dies, it goes to the original owner's dead pile, and your card must be a sky card. So that's quite cool. You just get to take one of your opponent's cards. Ah yeah, that was a combo that happened. Microbes, although it already gives you the option to play it to your opponent's planet, you can play it and use Tornado Swap, give it to your opponent, and then they'd lose 1 point every turn. And you just get one of their best creatures, which is pretty cool. So yeah, they're all the sky cards. And this video is getting so long already, so I don't think I'm going to be able to show you another planet. I'm just going to show you something really upsetting, actually. The Heaven planet, which I was going to show you in this video. I lost all the cards. Well, I don't think I lost them. I think I gave them all the originals away to one of my cousins, and they have them lying around somewhere. The only things I have left are 3 cards. The first one is Little Angel here. I did show you one in the previous video. That was Utopia's Guard, and he was part of the archetype for the Heaven cards. If you haven't seen that, then again, there'll be a link below. But yeah, Little Angel. And if this card wins you at least 3 points, when it dies you add any Heaven creature from your deck to your hand. So he's pretty unique and pretty good. We've then got Boudagoo, who's an angel with big spikes on its shoulders. Every good deed it does, the spikes grow. Oh, that's really cute. I hadn't read that before. Anyway, he's just a standard 4-star with 1500 power and 1100 block. Next up, this was a really interesting one. He was called Stars, and it is just a load of stars. It was one of the shiny cards of the planet too. And this card's power and block equal the amount of stars it has times 300. And when it kills a card, it gets a star. But whenever you play a card that isn't a Heaven creature, it loses a star. So he starts off with 7 stars, and then 7 times 300 is 2,100. So it's that start as that. But I kind of like the way how its power and health can like fluctuate and change all the time. So that's pretty cool. We've then got one last special card to show you in this episode, which is called Sky Laser, and it lets you kill a sky, alien or Heaven card on the field, and then you get a point. And I really like the artwork for this because I think there's something cool about the simplicity of it. There's just like a laser blasting through the sky, going all the way to space, killing the aliens, and then all the way up to heaven at the end. So yeah, that was a pretty cool card that I'd just like to show you. So yeah, I'm sorry again I couldn't show you the robot cards this episode, the video just dragged on too long. But they'll be in the next episode of my old TCGs, so stay tuned for that. Let me know which deck you'd rather have out of these two, the Sky or the Fire cards. I think I personally have to go for the Sky cards just because I really love the Cloudy Bob archetype, although the Sparkies are pretty cool as well. Apart from that, got nothing else to say, but please like, comment, subscribe, stay tuned for the next episode. Follow me on Instagram, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.